It's Steve again. Simple question for you. Are we in lockdown or are we not? For goodness sake, we've been told to stay inside and not travel unnecessarily. Now, I'm an accountant. My wife is resident here in Spain for health reasons, and I commute. I've been here for 26 days now instead of the normal 8 in the month because I daren't leave my wife in case I can't get back if she needs help because of the travel restrictions. Fair enough. I've had to organise running my practice remotely, which is costing me time and money, but I consider myself lucky. I'm still working because the clients still need their payrolls, their VAT returns, and several of them, of course, now need figures to apply for the interruption loans, the business interruption loans, because of the lockdown. But over half my clients can't afford to pay me because they're closing down, probably more than half by now. Because I'm still working, I can't claim loss of earnings, so my overdraft is half taking a hammering right now. But I'm making that sacrifice willingly because I want to do my bit as far as I can to help business and industry in the country, as well as just the travel restrictions and everything, to help stop this disease and to help end it as quickly as possible. Back in the UK, there are people going stir crazy. For some, frankly, there are a few for whom I have little sympathy, but for many others, young couples or single parents, for example, with 2 or 3 quick kids living in a flat without a garden, that's got to be hell for the kids, and therefore it's not going to be good for the parents. And the reason for all this misery is to stop the spread of the coronavirus by isolating us from our friends and our neighbours as well as from strangers. And yet, we still have flights coming in from all over the world, and illegals are being rescued in the Channel and brought to our shores. I had a look at the arrivals into Heathrow today. There were flights from Delhi in India, Muscat in Oman, Sharjah and Dubai, both in the United Arab Emirates, Mumbai in India, Colombo in Sri Lanka, Doha from Qatar, Beijing in China, Beirut in Lebanon, Cairo in India, and Baku in Azerbaijan, as well as 21 flights from the EU. Now, I know that this is minuscule compared to the norm, but nonetheless, that's about 5,000 people in one day into Heathrow alone, who then travel to wherever they live or work. They will have been in close proximity to each other in the plane, and some of them are coming from areas of high contamination, including Madrid. They pass through the airport, putting staff there at risk. They get on trains and buses. They're not quarantined. Whilst everyone has been asked to make the sacrifice of not going out, of working at home if possible, we see travellers from abroad risking the destruction of any progress that's been made. Many will be British residents coming home, I get that. But as long as people are coming into the country, we should have quarantine systems in place. We are allowing travellers to come into the country without even testing them, and certainly not isolating them. And we are still rescuing immigrants from the Channel. And rather than return them whence they came, as we are entitled to do under international law, we take them in here. I don't actually know where they are put once they get here, so I can't comment, except to say that they are putting the crews of the rescue ships in jeopardy, and thereby the whole British community, by risking further transmission of the virus. And they're not fleeing war because, last I heard, there is no war in France. They've marched through several countries to get to Calais, and if they leave as refugees, they leave the first safe country, they lose their status as refugees. I could count the whole of the Schengen area as one country in order to please the EU and its supporters, so they have plenty of room, and Merkel will welcome them with open arms. So, they shouldn't be allowed, basically, any entry into the UK, at least until this crisis is over. And then they should make legal application. Priti Patel wants to close the borders, but Bojo has stopped her. What's going on, Boris? I think you've done a pretty good job in the main, but what's behind your thinking over this? If people are having to stay in their homes, why are you increasing the risk of extending the amount of time the lockdown will have to continue? Stay safe. I'll see you.